Hi guys, happy Friday. Chris Van Dusen here again with my friend Morgan Glencross. She's a teacher at Canal Elementary in Westbrook, Maine, and she's going to help read the story with me because we thought some of her students might like to see her read the book.
But you are maintaining a good physical distance.
But see, yep, we are socially distancing, so
as am I.
We're staying away. I hope you guys are doing okay at home, and if it's your birthday, happy birthday today. We're going to go back in time again today to my second book, and my second Mr. Magee book called A Camping Spree with Mr. Magee. This came out in the year 2003, and it was published by Chronicle books. So the way it's going to work is I'm going to read the first page, and then it's going to be like a tennis match because Lori's going to switch the camera back and forth, and Morgan will read the second page.
Morgan, where do you teach school?
I teach at Canal Elementary School in Westbrook.
And I just said that.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay, let's go. All right, so here's the book, A Camping Spree with Mr. Magee. Early one morning at 7:03, Mr. Magee and his little dog Dee packed up the camper and hitched up the load, hopped on the Rambler, and then hit the road. They drove to the mountains far from the sea for 2 nights of camping, or possibly 3.
There's nothing like camping, said Mr. Magee. I know you will love it. Just you wait and see. The views are fantastic. There's hardly a sound. Aside from the wildlife, there's no one around. And in the air is so sweet, you'll sleep like a log, said Mr. Magee to his small spotted dog.
A few hours later, they took a sharp right and found a great spot to lay camp for the night. It was high on a hill with a beautiful view of Mount Adams, Mount Lincoln, and Jefferson too. But perhaps the most wonderful feature of all was the brook that ran over the steep waterfall. Dee gathered pine cones and branches and logs. Magee made a campfire and cooked some hot dogs. And as the sun set behind far distant knolls, they sat roasting marshmallows over the coals.
As the embers went out, they felt tired and dozy, so they climbed into their bunk beds all comfy and cozy. But while they were falling asleep without care, along came a stumbling, bumbling bear. A kindly old bear whose sight wasn't so clear. He couldn't see far and he couldn't see near. But he could smell marshmallows, sticky and sweet. This smell made him hungry. He wanted a treat.
Good job, Morgan. He sniffed out the place where the marshmallows lay, but the car and the camper were in the bear's way. Yet that didn't stop the sneaky old snitch. He simply tried squeezing right under the hitch. And as he was shimmying into the gap, he pushed up the hitch, which let go with a snap. Uh-oh.
Now the camper and car were untied. They started to roll down the rocky hillside. The car bounced away on the old logging road, while the camper was heading to where the stream flowed. It flew down the hill in a wild, bumpy ride, with Dee and Magee sleeping soundly inside.
They were snoring and snoozing, enjoying a dream, when splash went the camper right into the stream.
The splash shook the camper. They bumped out of bed. Now what in the world was that, Magee said. And when he looked out and saw where they were, his hood's hair stood on end, and so did Dee's fur. They were caught in the rapids, but that wasn't all. They were headed smack dab for the big waterfall. Dee and Magee both started to quiver as faster and faster they headed down river. But just when they thought they'd fall over the edge,
their camper got stuck on a rock at the ledge. So there they were stranded, Magee and his pup, on the top of a waterfall, 50 feet up. Some kids like to see it like this. Do you think it looks better if you look at it like that? Scarier? That's not a good place to be, is it? Whoa.
Meanwhile, that nearsighted bear from before was searching for one little marshmallow more, when lo and behold, as if out of a dream, he spied something sweet floating over the stream. But what the bear thought was a marshmallow treat was really the hitch and not something to eat.
Remember he couldn't see very well? He thinks the trailer hitch is a marshmallow. The bear was determined to capture his prize, so he jumped in the water right up to his thighs. He splashed through the stream to the edge of the fall and snatched up the trailer hitch, camper and all.
Dee felt a tug. Magee heard a knock as the bear pulled the camper right off the rock. He dragged them both all the way back to the bank when he realized the hitch was not sweet, but quite rank.
Ew.
He spit out the hitch and left in dismay while Magee and Dee's camper rolled again rolled away. It flew down the path with a jolt and a jar.
And stopped in some bushes right next to the car. Dee popped her head out. Magee looked out too. Had they really stopped rolling? Could it be true? At last things were quiet and peaceful and still. They hooked up the hitch and drove off down the hill. And on the way home, Magee said to Dee, that trip wasn't quite like I thought it would be. So when they got home with the sky turning red,
they decided to camp in the backyard instead.
Good idea.
So Mr. Magee always ends up back safe and sound. Hey, air high five. Good job. Boop. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the story today. Again, it was my second book, A Camping Spree with Mr. Magee, and we will see you tomorrow. Stay well.